Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. This is Sidrat Gaming. You can call me Sidrat. And of course, Atomcraft, which is what we're playing today. You've seen the thumbnail. But Atomcraft, if you don't know, is a sandbox adventure game without the nasty chemical smells. And Season 2 will be focusing on the survival mode game type with the hostile NPCs, unfortunately. Now, the survival game type means you need to consume regularly and you also need to poop. There'll also be some inventory loss upon non-conducive to life events. So you may have to go back and pick up the stuff that was dropped. Don't eat clay, by the way. Eating clay is definitely one of those non-conducive to life events. And it does leave an awful mess behind as well. Try it once, see what happens. But anyway, the Steam link is in the video description below, and we will move on to the game itself. So, without any further ado, let's get on into the game, like so. And that's better. So, I've made some updates and changes with the realization of the ship-in and output pixels in the previous episode, and the subsequent unlocking of the extra tab. We needed something called Einsteinium 252. That stuff there. You can see it's in white. It's in white because with the press of a button, I can give myself any material I need. I looked up Einsteinium online, and it seems to be this weird, very heavy radioactive particle with one of the longest half-lives in known found so far. It's fascinating, but in terms of Atomcraft, I didn't see any information on how to obtain it in-game. And, well, I'm really enjoying the game. I really am. Automation progress, or progress to automation, is really, really, really slow. I'll take you back to the upgrade screen because I have made some upgrades. So we've got the faster gears. I've got the vanadium carbide drill. I've unlocked the multi-tool, the extra tab, and the lead acid battery with the electrolyzer as well. And topping it off, I've also got the backpack increased to level 2 as well. I don't think there's anything else on here that I've unlocked. If I have, you can see it, okay? But if I have, it would be minor. These three have been done for a while. All of the upgrades were made on this machine here, and in that machine where it contained gases, okay? So with the ship outputs pixel, which you can see right there, hopefully, you need a toggle. It could be if we unlock the computing pixels, it could be a 2-step oscillator, and it will just pulse out the items every 2 steps, 2 seconds usually, or 3 or 4 or 5 steps. So you do need that, and because it's an output, you need a filter next to it, which is why we've got these ceramic walls, so we can lay something next to it. What do we want next to it? Let's have limestone gravel. We've currently got 30 of them, okay? So I will drop a single unit there. We'll need to come up a bit because that's too high. So when I turn this on, it drops from the ship limestone gravel. If I turn it off, it stops. And in a very quick amount of time, we've got that. What does it drop now? Absolutely nothing, because it doesn't know what to pick up. But that's the basic functionality of the ship outputs. The ship inputs is still awesome. We've got some here. Let's have a look here. So, actually, if I'm clever, which, yep, I know what you're saying in the comments, but be nice. It's just a bit too... Right, okay. So, we put the ship input here. And the... Do I have a switch? No, I don't have a switch. Okay. Sorry, I thought I had the switch. Let's have a look for switches. There we go. And if I have a switch... There we go. What we would really like, Mr. Dev, if you're watching, is a way to lock structures so we can't actually mine them. They may still be destroyed or altered through chemical reactions, but we won't accidentally drill through the floor of our base or pick up dirt. See, if we don't want to. I will mark that down. That's already down. Right. Okay. But yeah, that would just be a nice thing to have. And if we put in... we need a switch. Let's get the switch in there so that we can plant it. And then we can turn it on. And then we can place that pixel there. That's limestone gravel. I don't know if you can see it because the background colors, but if we turn that on now, it's turning. Let's turn it off, see if that's... Okay, I don't think it's working because it's covered in, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So if it was landing directly on top, that would have actually worked. That would have worked beautifully. There we go, right, okay, so we've got these two now. Let's plant it here instead. So at least we can see it happening in real time. I would recommend using like a two-step oscillator or a button for manual usage. Okay, but that's just my personal opinion. It's your game. You can play it the way you want to play it. Let's put that there. And we'll switch that one on. Switch that one on. And yeah, most of that went back into the strip itself. It's going straight back into the ship because it's not falling down. So at the end of a conveyor belt, that would be absolutely fine. That would be absolutely fine to do. So if you're a long-time viewer, or if you've gone past or gone back through the back catalogue of my Atomcraft series, you will recognize a building with 2 conveyor belts, one for the fuel, one for the source materials, and then a later iteration had carbon falling down when gases rose up. That would be absolutely fine with a ship input at the end of the conveyor belts for the materials you want to retrieve, because you could have it drop down via a filter onto another conveyor belt and have it drop straight in. And yes, a switch for that would be absolutely fine, because you turn it on, you let it run, and it will run for as long as you've got fuel and material doing the reactions in it. The base change I have made, there's 2, and I'm currently starving, so let's consume those and apparently poop at the same time. Yeah, the base changes I've made is adding a door here. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that could happen. Okay, I can still do that though, which I'll do in the future. So I can now open the door, close the door to keep the water out, and fly off in the direction I want to go in. That's absolutely wonderful. And the reason why I've got a wizard hat is because I now have teleportation to 939. And he gave me the hat. It's really nice having teleportation, because it means I can go down and mine, or go up and mine when I get to the crafting level, to the asteroids. But when I'm mining, I can slowly transport myself back across the surface, instead of trying to get up the steep environments with no or very little jetpack fuel. I do have extra backpack storage as well, which is and has been very, very nice indeed. But that's pretty much the updates that I want to share with you today. I have some ideas which on how we can actually use the new teleportation method, because that's what it is. I just don't know the benefits of it being in the extra tab when you need something from somewhere else. I think that's recharge rates, batteries, or battery power for the suit, because it doesn't take any power externally. So I'm still trying to figure out why we would need turbines, backpack, jetpack, right, okay, or anything else. We could, that's a radiation suit, that would be useful further, deeper below. Maybe that's where you find the Einsteinium 252. But I haven't been there, not even in creator mode at this moment in time. There's lots and lots of fascinating ideas, but they don't fit in necessarily to an actual playthrough, because if you need to unlock all of them, argon, aluminum, tungsten, and lead and liquid iodine, etc., and whatever that is, in order to access these, to do whatever you need to do to get the materials that will allow you to make the ship inputs and outputs using Einsteinium 252. Why is my main question. Why would I need it when more than half of this is going to be unlocked? is nice to have. So would it be nicer to have sooner? Because once you've got the extra tab, you should be able to use it. I would recommend getting the computing tab as well for the 2-3 step oscillator. So it could trigger and drop out materials that would be better suited. A 2-step would be absolutely fine. Even a 2-step that activates a button, it will still be 2 steps. It's not worth it doing. So a 2-step that activates a door to release the materials. Yeah, a 2-step that releases a doorway. So it's like a button press. It'll stay on for a few seconds, then cut off. That should drop far more than what you would normally get with a 2-step pass through, or a 2-step action with the input and output in this case, because the inputs will always be on. You'll always want to gather the materials as they come through. But yeah, I'm slightly confused, really, as to the progression of Atomcraft and why we do all of these things manually, only to be given something that would increase the through rates, especially when it comes to doing all of this stuff. You need 200 of that, 100 of that, 50 of those, etc. We've pretty much got it through farming, because I think all of these, except for magnesium, can be found in the wild. So zinc, copper, cadmium, silver, there'll be some things that you need to manufacture and build for yourself. No, not tin, that comes from there. No, not bismuth, aluminum. There we go, einsteinium. I thought all these down here were made up stuff, but apparently they're not made up. There's something called europium and samarium and promethium, which promethium, okay. I know that. That's like a magnet type of thing, isn't it? A very strong magnet. Dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, and lutetium, etc. What the Lawrencium, Mendelvium, all of these. But I'm struggling with like understanding what the progression was for. Is the most simple way to put it. Why do we have turbines? To create power when we don't have anything consuming power. We've got a jetpack level, that's fine, but we've also got a battery here. What does the battery do? Because the ship input and the ship output, or the ship input, would work forever while the switch is pressed, and it consumes 0 power. So why is it in the game? What am I missing? Why is it not sooner in the game structure, the game flow, so you understand the importance of upgrading in the first place, but you also understand the importance of getting turbines unlocked, making strontium with steel so that you've got 10 or so turbines to generate the power that you need in order to do whatever it is you need the power for. Yeah, comments down below. Okay, help me out here so that I know what I'm missing, because I know that I'm missing something. Before realizing what the igniter did, I was so focused on having the heating elements in my builds, because it's like, my God, it's heat and it's heat all the time and it's free and it's always on. That's great, except it's not actually that great. In some cases, it's nice to have, but it's not always necessary. It's not always useful. But yeah, especially because it's a solid pixel as well. So you could place it on the floor, but then you're heating below the floor surface as well. So you've got to bear that in mind also. The heat insulation would work once you access boron. Boron is boron oxide and magnesium, so you need to make magnesium first, which if you've done, you know it's a pain. Although we've got magnesium oxide, magnesium and carbon dioxide is... Why would you want to turn it back into an oxide? Yeah, dolomites, magnesium oxide. Right, okay, so it's just mining dolomites. Maybe it's not as difficult as I thought, but I was doing a lot of manual processing over the last couple of days, and well, these machines work. They work, you manage them, you stick it in there, it works, you manage them, you get on with it, it's done, and then you make an excess, so you can stick it in the ship upgrade, and then that's done. And what do you do with those materials from then on? If there was like a story mode, where you needed to feed like thousands and thousands of units to like Satisfactory, you need X number of units of that type, that type, and that type, and then we will reward you with extra stuff and more faster machines and more complicated machinery. If that was introduced to Atomcraft, there would be a story. There would be a reason for you to redesign these, so that once you access the automation, then it would be for a reason. You need automation because you need to produce 2,000 iridium units. There shouldn't necessarily be a time limit, but if you need to get 2,000 iridium units, you also need 2,000 iridium dioxide and 4,000 carbon. So have fun cutting down the trees with that. The trees are a great example. I think a laser would cut the trees down. Oh, sorry, I didn't pulse. So you use a laser on a, say, 5-step oscillator, because obviously they need time to grow. So the laser cuts through the trees, and then what? Can seeds turn into roots on a conveyor belt? And if they did, would they move? Because as far as I know, you need to cut the trees down, then you get wood, and the wood goes into the blender machine for charcoal, and then wood goes into a burning machine to get charcoal, and then you can put the charcoal, split it in half, balancer, absolutely fantastic idea. You can then put half of it into the blender for your carbon usage. Obviously, you only need to build the machines once, iterate upon them a few times to make it a little bit faster, smoother, make sure it's not clogging up. But once it's done, what do you do then? Why do you ever need to revisit that machine again? Or do you ever need to access iridium ever again? can build with it. Okay. Different materials should have different properties as well. Walls should be, if walls were not mineable, just like the ancient walls down here has been made not drillable, I should say, then our structures would be immune from things like that, which is annoying. But yeah, sorry, I've gone on for about 10 minutes asking a rather simple open-ended question. What's the end goal? What's if we've done all of this stuff by hand, why is there power requirements? Why is there power generators? What is the purpose of those? And why does automation come so late in the process? Well, it comes so early in the process tree, but becomes available so long after unlocking the simulator, the turbine, the cowbell, which I have up here, but I haven't made working yet, so let's get a switch on there. No? No? No, okay, never mind. But yeah, why is the real question. Would be nice to find out. Would be nice to know. I'm considering just pause the game so I don't die of hunger or whatever. I am considering doing some videos on a different game which isn't going to be as fun and interesting as Atomcraft, and I still do like Atomcraft because I do. The manual interaction with the chemicals and the reactions and the temperature management, etc., is and has been fun. Always will be, and that won't be taken away. I've got 92 hours in the game of Atomcraft, and I don't think that's including the demo. But I could instead, let me have a look to see what you would see. Yeah, there we go. If I open that a bit more, I could play Captain of Industry, which is a logistics game where you take resources from the ground, you get them to a building, and it outputs stuff, and then you take those and you take it to another building, and that outputs more stuff. But there's a clear progression, and I don't think there's teleportation either. But it's just an idea, because I don't know where to go with Atomcraft beyond doing the same thing that I've already been doing for a while. The food mechanic, the pooping mechanic, all well and good, but not for long. And those annoying sound effects are really, really annoying. I know you can hear it coming through. I'm just going to clear all of this out and sticking. If I make it further back, then I can stand near the ship and they won't actually we won't be able to hear them. I haven't had any NPC spawn inside the unit either. See what I mean? Totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary that was, but we'll may as well take it down to there. Yes, I know. If they posed, do I want a bigger threat? I suppose, yeah, fewer NPCs of a bigger threat would be more interesting gameplay. But yeah, let's leave it on that note. I'm going to get food now because I am starving. Let me know what you think. What should be the next project? What can I do either in Atomcraft or a different game? That would that you would want to watch, essentially. So yeah, 30-minute video. I hope you've stuck around for the questions. I know there's been quite a few of them, but I do want to thank you for your persistence in turning up. Any questions, ideas, suggestions, leave them in the video comments below. Okay, I will read them all. So have a great week. Remember to hydrate and never forget to iterate, whether it's in this game or another game. Thank you.